Okay, committee, we are live.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We respectfully acknowledge that the County of Haliburton is located, excuse me, on Treaty 20 Michi-Saugig territory and in the traditional territory of the Michi-Saugig and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations. We acknowledge a shared presence of Indigenous nations throughout the area and recognize its original inhabitants as the stewards of its lands and waters since time immemorial. Can I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda for today? Member Kennedy and Snyder.
Be it resolved that the December 9th, 2024 Land Division Committee agenda be hereby approved.
All in favor? That's carried. And could I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes of the 12th of November? Member McKelvey, Member Kennedy.
Be it resolved that the minutes of the Land Division Committee meeting held at November 12th, 2024 be approved as printed and circulated.
All in favor? That's carried. And so we'll move on to our one and only application by Chadwick.
Madam Chair, the declaration of conflicts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any declaration of conflict of interest? Hearing none, we'll move on to the application.
Thank you, Madam Chair, to committee, and I'll share screen. And I trust everybody can see the PowerPoint. Okay, thank you. So application H4824 is for the lands at 1496 Dignan Road, which is in the municipality of Dysart. And the purpose of the application is to grant a right-of-way over an existing driveway to provide access to a neighboring benefiting lot, which is at 1492 Dignan Road. And just for context, the property is located at the far south end of Haliburton Lake. It's about 15 kilometers east of Eagle Lake Village. And just zooming in a bit more, the property that is granting the right-of-way is here, and the benefiting lands at 1492 are next door, immediately to the east. And just again, a bit more of a zoom in here. So the right-of-way would encompass a gravel driveway that has existed for many years, and it provides access to a cottage at 1492. And there is a dwelling here that's recently been rebuilt, larger dwelling. And when I was out on site, the driveway was it was clearly marked. It's there. And this part of Dignan Road here is municipally maintained, so the snowplow turnaround is about 3 or 4 doors down from this location. So municipality of Dysart has endorsed the application. There were no public comments received as a result of the circulation. Hydro One responded, said they had no concerns, and staff recommend approval subject to the conditions that are in the staff report. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Could you go back to the last sketch that you showed us? Adam, I'm just wondering, it appears that both lots have a frontage on the road, and I'm just wondering why, and maybe I missed the full explanation, why it's crossing the neighboring property instead of entering right onto their own property.
Madam Chair, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know why a separate entrance was never granted for 1492. According to the applicants, and they are Gladys is in attendance, she might be able to give some more background, but this has been the historic driveway that was used by both properties to get access. Just one thing to note too, there was a carport here on the side of that garage that's since been removed. And in the report as well from Dysart, there were a few conditions that were listed that the applicant went back to Dysart Council and asked for relief from and were granted. And one of them was some zoning compliance issues. But the conditions that are in the report today still do require some additional work on behalf of the applicant, just with Dysart staff. I hope that answers the question.
Sort of. Yeah, thanks. To the best of your ability.
Best of my ability.
Do members of the committee have questions for Adam? Member Snyder.
Thank you. Adam, does Hydro One have an easement over the properties?
Through you, Madam Chair, I don't see an easement identified for the hydro pole that kind of goes out from the road to the house at 1492. There definitely is a line there and a pole. But I don't, off the top, I don't have that information, whether there's easements on the property for those lines.
Okay, I just wondered whether, is there any layering of easements and if there isn't, but then I also wondered, does this easement include Hydro One across the property?
Through you, Madam Chair, no, this easement is strictly for the driveway access.
Just for the driveway?
Yep.
If Ms. Watson is here, let's invite her in and see if she's got any comment. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, my name's Gladys Watson, and I am acting as agent on this file for our family. We have owned 1492 since 1953, when the land was first subdivided. And in response to your question about why there is no separate driveway, when the cottages were initially put into place, when it was divided, that was a shared driveway into the two properties for the beginning part of the driveway, and then it split off and we could go on and access our driveway. So it's been that way since 1953. The topography on our lot is such that it would have been a monumental exercise, and probably at the time not that viable to cut a driveway through our property. There's a huge hill and a lot of rock, and it's heavily treed.
Okay, that explains it. Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Watson? Member McKelvey?
Not so much a question, but an observation. When you look at the survey, the traveled road of Dignam goes way off where the road allowance is. So again, that would probably be the restraints on the land that made the road go that way. So it would make sense that the driveway couldn't go there either.
Yeah, and just through you, Madam Chair, to the committee, when I did my site visit, the land in front of 1492, you kind of come up over a crest, and then it's a downhill turn, and probably not the best place for an entrance, which would explain the shared access arrangement.
Any other questions from committee members for either Ms. Watson or Adam? Hearing none, could I have a mover and a seconder then to receive the staff report and to grant provisional approval on the application? Member Kennedy, seconded by Member Snyder.
Be it resolved that the Land Division Committee of the County of Haliburton receive the staff report related to application for consent H4824, and that the Land Division Committee of the County of Haliburton grant provisional approval of application for consent H4824, subject to the conditions outlined in the staff report. Member McKelvey?
Yes.
Member Snyder?
Yes.
Member Kennedy?
Yes.
And Member Donald?
Yes.
And Chair Danielson.
Yes. That's carried. Thank you, Ms. Watson.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the meeting schedule for next year. Are there any conflicts with this respect to the schedule? Kind of hard to tell, maybe at this point. So far, it looks good.
Yeah, I think there was only the one date that was in conflict. Might have been Thanksgiving, so I moved. There's one day where it's switched to a Tuesday.
Okay. Could I have a mover and a seconder then to approve the meeting schedule for next year? Member McKelvey, Member Kennedy.
Be it resolved that the 2025 Land Division meeting schedule be hereby approved.
All in favor?
Yes.
That's carried. And could I then have a mover and a seconder to adjourn? Member Kennedy, Member Schneider.
Be it resolved that the December 9th, 2024 Land Division Committee meeting be hereby adjourned.
All in favor? Best of the season to you all, and thank you, Adam, for your work for the year. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
You too, Elizabeth, there in the background.
Gordon, and I apologize for being late and also that my so yeah, sorry about that. I have a very sick child at home with me today, so I ran down to my office to hop on this meeting, and it turns out I was a little too late to before it started. But
I hope your little one gets better soon.
me
All the best,
too.
everyone. Thanks very much.
Have a good
Have a great
season.
holiday.
Merry Christmas,
Take
everyone.
care, Pat.